it's Nisha here. How you doing? It's day 14 on my 30-day life challenge. Hope you're all doing very well. We've had an amazing weekend. The weather's been lovely, so I hope you've made the most of it. So today's Sunday, and I always say Sunday is all about the family and spending time with the family, especially if you're an entrepreneur and you're working all the time. Always dedicate the Sunday for your family, because it's so important to have quality time with your family as well as running a very successful business. Or even if you're working, it's always very good to be able to give some dedicated time to your family while you're very busy over the weekend, maybe over the week with the kids, with the school run, with the homework. It might be that the weekend is the only time you're going to get where you spend a bit more quality time with them. After all, they grow up so quickly. So if you don't make the most of it now, before you know it, they'll be really big. So make the most out of the time you get with your family. It's very important. Now, last Sunday, we talked about self-care is very important. Now, I'm going to go a little bit more detail in self-care because I think it's one area where as an entrepreneur or as a working mum, as a busy working mum, we always tend to kind of ignore or put it at the back of our mind and not really focusing on it. But it is very, very important for you to be able to be successful as a mum, to be successful in your job, to be successful as an entrepreneur. You need to have some sort of balance, overall balance in what you're doing. And for me, there are about 7 areas that you need to constantly assess yourself. So the first one is obviously financial, because obviously we are worried financially most of the time. So financial comes as one of the top priority that you need to be able to evaluate yourself on all the time. Number 2 would be your career, if you've got a career, or your business if you've got one. Obviously, if you're not working, you would most probably have your business. So that would be something you would need to look at. Your health is very important, so you need to look at your health. There's also the creativity side of what you do or who you are. The creativity side is very important. You need to have some time where you're just creative thinking, even if it's thinking or doing things. It's very important for your well-being to consider that as well. Now, all these different elements is just to help you having a more kind of balanced kind of attitude toward life. So you're not focusing on one thing. You're not focusing just on your business. You're not focusing on your kids and ignoring yourself. So that's very important. Now, I think we're number 5 is relationship. So relationship is very important. You need to be able to understand whether you're having a good relationship with close people around. And that could be friends, that could be family, that could be partners, husband, or your kids, for example. But being able to look at your relationship and how, content you are with that is also very important. Now, the other thing that we tend to also ignore is education, self-learning, or learning in itself. Most people don't prioritize that, but as an individual, you need to constantly grow. And in order to constantly grow and get better or doing things in a more efficient way, you need to learn, So having some sort of learning, whether it's self-learning, educating yourself online, listening to live like this, or paid training, all these will make you a better person. And I think even as a person who's working in a job, you need to self-learn, because you can't always get all the training, all the knowledge at work. You need to be able to put some effort yourself to make you become that distinguished employee in the company, to be able to get that recognition, but also get the reward with, being that person that people look up to. You need to have a sense of purpose. It's very important to have that. You need to understand what you stand for, what you really want to achieve, what's your purpose, what do you want to do out of your life, really. And that's also very important. And very often we tend to forget that. I mean, I'm guilty of that. I didn't really have a sense of purpose. I didn't have that one big ambition. Now I do. I know what it is, and I'm working on it. I'm working slowly on it, or sometimes I'm putting more time into it, but I know what it is, and that's very, very important. Now, once you've identified those 7 aspects, that is very important to have kind of a balance lifestyle, then you need to look at each of them individually and scoring them. It's very important to score them. So for example, let's look at health, for example. It could be that when you assess yourself out of 10, you might be on 2 or 3 or 5 or 8, depending where you are. So if you're somebody who's not exercising, not drinking enough water, not sleeping very well, or have some medical condition, you might be assessing yourself as a number 2. And say, you know, I really need to do something about it. So it's important to look at every single area, all these 7 areas we've just discussed, and identify where you are on a scale of 1 to 10. And if you're number 2, that's fine. You just need to think that next month you need to be able to improve on that. And if you don't achieve it next month, it's fine. But the following one, you need to make more effort. So the whole point of this exercise is to identify what you're not focusing on, what you need to focus on more to be able to help yourself have that balanced lifestyle. Now, balance, or the perfect balance, it's very difficult. It's very different for each individual. What's perfect for me can be really imperfect for you. Now, I enjoy spending time with my family, so I do spend a lot of time with my family and my kids, and I do work at different times. Sometimes I work late at night, sometimes I'm working very early in the morning. But that's because this is perfect for me, because it gives me this satisfaction that I'm spending more time with my family. Now, it might be completely different for you. You might not want to stay late at night. You might want to do your work during a certain hours. So the perfect balance is very different for each individual. And it's very personal to you, personal to how you are as a person, personal to what you want to do in life, and what's more important for you. So we've looked at the 7 areas that we need to assess ourselves. We've looked at scoring ourselves on those 7 areas. Now, we don't stop here. What we need to do next is to look at what can we do to improve the situation if we need to improve it. So, for example, we've just said maybe we score ourselves 3 on health because maybe we're not feeling that great, we're not doing any exercise. So could we start with maybe doing 10-15 minutes exercise? Could we go for a walk every single day? Could we look at sleeping a little bit better, maybe sleeping more? Could we look at drinking more water, for example, every single day, so we start feeling healthier inside, but also with a new routine of this, you will start seeing major impact as the time goes. So it's very important to create that small little habits to start with and then see the difference. And any habit is not created overnight. It takes a routine of doing exactly the same thing at exactly the same time for over 28 days to be really into you will see yourself more into a new habit situation once you've created that. So it's important for you to look at those 7 areas, look where you are, how do you score yourself, and how can you improve it if you need to improve it, and what you would like to be next time. So when you're scoring yourself, so doing that little exercise every single month is very useful. And your Sundays are for you and your time for you and time for your family. So take your Sundays once a month to spend down assessing yourself. Where are you in your own personal journey? How self-satisfied do you feel? How content do you feel? You know, are you satisfied? Do you have any purpose that you're currently satisfying? So all these are very important. Remember, everybody, whether it's a successful person or not, have the same number of hours in a day. We all are exactly in the same exact situation. The difference between certain successful people and others is the fact that they know how to prioritize their time on things that's more important. So hopefully this little exercise we spoke about just now will help you focus more on what's more important for you, so you can have some productive change in your lifestyle and have a better, perfect balance for yourself, because it's very individualized. So I hope you have found this useful. In my next video, I'm going to talk about some of the tasks you can cheat on, or some of the things that you can do to be able to be more productive and capped on your time. Basically, we all have the same time. Some people are more successful because they know how to maximize their times or just reduce their time on specific tasks to be able to have more time for other stuff. So we'll talk more about that next time. Hope you have found this useful. If you've got any question, just shout out. Hi Karan, nice to see you here. Thanks for joining. If you've got any question, just put it down in here and I will get back to all of you, or just message me like you've been doing, private message, and I will get back to all of you. Take care. Have a nice day, everyone. Take care. Bye.